A man who works for somebody else for money is not free. But a man who joins with others to make a living and a profit is free. You can't work alone. And enterprises, a man who is enterprising and creates wealth for himself and others is a free man. If he works for somebody else as a slave for money, which is what it is, it's paid slavery, that's what it is, a slave, and they become unconscious because slavery takes away the mind. And whether it's by brain damage or drugs or just by training the person, just by training the person will become unconscious and just do the job automatically. But some jobs have to be done like that, and that applies to all entrepreneurs as well. But a firm or company is where a group of people join together to make a profit, to make money, and they don't have slaves. And they get venture capital and shareholders who are also free to invest in the company. But the important thing is individuals are free, and that's important. And they work for a leader who usually starts the company because he is a wise man and has good ideas and makes money for them. And so they like him. And it's a group of friends basically work together. When the firms get too big, it doesn't work. So small is useful, and that applies to all things. And the socialist system, which was developed, probably, I don't know who developed it, but apparently when Attlee set it up, whatever date it was, he went to the person in power, I'm not sure who it was, the Queen or the King, I'm not sure who was in power at that time, but to get their advice, and they took over. And the last part of the psychopath called, I don't know his name was, but he studied psychiatry, is to take over people, take over companies, and take over organisations to make money, and rather than do what they're originally intended to do. And that applies to political parties as well. I don't know who's taken over, but I gather Labour for the Green Party, there is a role, them there are having attempted to take over. I don't know which got him, but I've seen he murders his way to the top. So I know. The Green Party meeting I went to, I was taking photographs of that bearded man, or an old man, can't walk. And I found this hidey hole they went to, and I found, I was taking photos, I noticed that some people were being knifed by two people. I don't know who they were. Don't know. I suspect the two princes actually, but I don't know. I took photographs, and after the meeting, there were two bodies in the hall. I don't know who they were, but I gather they're friends of Cameron Lucas, who's basically a relative of mine, and it was a bad situation. And so a lot of these organisations set up in good faith are taken over by people who try to just want a reason to make money. That applies to the Scientology Church as well. Set up by Hubbard, and a lot of it was interfered with by, I think it was Richard England actually, who was did all sorts of nasty things. He took over and hijacked it, basically, a clever man, in a nasty way, to make it turn into a money-making organisation. Well, because he got to make money, and he did very successful, but a lot of the original schemes have been lost. And he put it, as somebody put immortality. I think Hubbard thought that people couldn't live unless they thought they were immortal. Well, we all live as if we were immortal, basically, but we know that it aren't, we plan for it. And my death is not far away. I've been told I have high blood pressure and so on, and you can die in the results of high blood pressure. Well, I'll deal with that when it happens. I try to avoid high blood pressure. I'm eating a diet which is better for me than I had before. And so it is. And this part of the brain that paralyzed in psychiatry, it's actually the cerebrum, which is actually what it is, it's called the cerebrum. It's not the cerebrum, they think the cerebrum is the whole brain, it's actually this part here. And if you look at sharks, you can see the cerebrum is the part that is called, also known, I think it's different names, it may be slightly different areas, I don't know. But there's telencephalon, which is also the cerebrum, and the forebrain is the frontal cerebrum. That's quite a complicated structure, and they do subdivide it and so on. But the doctors know a lot about it, but they use it to make people ill. And some people, I understand that one of the patients at Springfield, I was in there for a while. I put myself in there because I was under attack, and I was felt safe there. But well, the people who attack me manipulate the situation to put me under attack. They use others to attack me, people, basically. And you see, this person, I don't know what they did to it. They incised his front of his brain, and he went around naked hugging people. That's not normal behaviour. And so he was very sick. I don't know what he was wrong with in the first place. And I've been told that as a result of his treatment, he became a psychopathic killer. Well, I don't know whether that's true or not, I don't know. I know what his name was, but I don't know what he was in for. But I really don't. But the doctor, I got quite friendly with the doctor actually, he told me that he'd done it to him because he couldn't get out of his delusions, whatever they were, whatever it was he had a session with. And there were other people like that. Anyway, but well, they deal with murderers as well, child killers, they do get them. But one woman I met, who was about 30 I suppose, had smothered a child by putting a cushion on her, sitting on it, she died, in order to turn him an angel, a holy angel in heaven, and live forever happy, because he was happy as an 8-year-old. And well, that's what she said. And so the priest had told her, basically, when the child died, you go to heaven and become an angel. And, well, it's not true, it's false. And that false statement has caused the death of somebody. So the person who committed the crime was actually innocent. And if she realised what she'd done, she would be very upset. So the reason does come into learning. What you do, with like an android. A man is not an android, but he's a biological being, a meat android. And he relies on his database to what to do in his database. I don't know, it's not still in the same part of the brain, that's where I'm not sure where it is. But it's distributing and so on, but it's in the database, it's in places. But basically, if the database is wrong, it gives wrong, people do the wrong things. A database has to be right. A database does science, is correct. And a lot of these misinformation given to people, mostly by priests, but not just by priests, but people well-meaning and so on, cause a lot of misery. So people who in charge should not give false hope, and priests do that. And well, people suffer as a result. And the Pope, he said, come with me to heaven and so on, very nice too, but it's false. And he knows it's false, he's making it up. He does it to make people happy, to make money as well. And it's been going on for a long time. And I'm going to actually for instance. So this idea that it doesn't matter what you do in life, because in death you get rewards, is not true. A lot of workers are deceived by that. And a lot of countries, Britain particularly, is ruled by people who teach people that they get the reward in heaven, and when they don't get anything in their life. That's how bad it is. And so they steal money from people too. A wonderful cause it is. Wonderful, basically they see their own fat faces. And so it is. Well, it's sad really, because your dead sons are certain, so what difference does it? Anyway, so the man who works for somebody who has some money is not free. And so freedom means freedom of choice, and freedom of association, that's what it means. And people who go to work all day, all night, not free. They lose their lives, it destroys their lives. And well, unfortunately, people do have to work. We're developing machines that will work for us. And the idea that the aristocracy, they think, we don't need people anymore, let's kill them all off. So they're now committing genocide by murdering people who aren't aristocrats, and we don't need them anymore. Well, that's crime. And if people do it, they're criminals. And they use Christianity as part of their armour to kill people. And, psychiatry is about killing somebody. And the head of the inventor of psychiatry has a big chain of restaurants, and he sacrifices his waitresses as meat to be served up in the restaurant. Basically, people sometimes want to get beef burger from his restaurants. They're eating last week's waitress, and sometimes he gets them from Korea too, because people from North Korea try to escape, and he gets them a passage. They buy a passage on his ship, and he murders them on the ship. Destroys the brain first, then murders them. Who knows what the beef bowl is? And so that way, the meat walks to its abattoir, pays for its treatment, and still sell it. If you get to sell it cheaper than anybody else, and you still make a profit. He told me that. I don't know who he was, but he was a man of psychiatry. He didn't survive. He was the last man left alive. They kill the world. Everybody's a slave, the last man left alive. So kill everybody. That's what I mean. He was a mass murderer. He was dreamed of a mass murderer to kill everybody. But he's not the only mass murderer. But he's a very successful mass murderer. He does it through, his times for writing books. He writes a letter. If somebody attacks somebody, he writes a book about them. I give it a book about me. Well, I'm just an old man, just like him. And that's what that is. And other people attack me too. I use similar methods and come in and arrested me. I've been prosecuted by a man who maliciously prosecutes people, not just me, other people, to make money basically. And it's also his friends, also people his acquaintances and prosecutes them. And puts me in prison and all sorts of nasty things. So a clever man, but a nasty word, nasty word. And he's very upset because he's partially sighted and not blind, he's partially sighted. He can see a little bit. He can see more than he admits to. Of course, he said to me that he lent his life pretending he was blind. Well, I don't know if he's blind or not in that case. He's very good at it. And he's I don't really get the idea from. But that's what he's doing. He's a nasty bit of work. And it's to do with the promise of immortality and so on. And, he was told that when he died he would be able to sit and so on. They made whole. They do actually tell people that when they die, they are made whole. Well, it's nonsense. They just decompose, basically, disappear. And well, when I told him that, and pointed it out to him, and proved it to him, he was very upset. And one of the things he hates is life on our planets, because it means it's not immortal. It just reinforces the fact, and that Christianity is false. And a lot of people are doing that. They're attacking people, scientists, because they're finding out things like evolution, for example, and genetic reproduction, which means they don't like it, because I don't know what's got all the reason is, but it seems to indicate that people aren't immortal, just bits of machinery. Biological machine. When you do biology properly, an organism is a biological machine. That's what it is. It feeds, and hunts and things. That's what we are. And so it's the same all over the universe. Life, you see life really in tooth and claw all over the universe. It's the same everywhere. And well, it's a madness breed. And the existence of aliens on nearby planets, which I'm told, and instruments indicate that they are bad news because, well, bad news. Because we could be meat for them. I know the biological structure of the body is very different, so there are reasons. Anyway, I don't know. They're terrible. And I don't like it. And Christians, particularly, well, not just Christians, but particularly Christians are murdering scientists. And I've been told 200 scientists have been murdered by Christians, at least 200. And because they say they're aliens, basically, and also because of evolution. And the Christians, the devil incarnate, basically, they use legal means to prosecute people. If that doesn't work, they use machine guns. So I will be. And all they do is preserve their delusions of immortality. And those delusions are put there in 46 AD by probably got a young man called, he's a name named Saul. And then in the Bible he murdered Jesus, he prosecuted, private prosecution and execution of Jesus, probably appointed by the emperor. And because of a nuisance, Jesus was a nuisance, actually. And once he put him to death, he merged his religion by pretending to be converted into Paul, we call him Paul the Impostor, and he mashed the rest of the room. And they discovered the phlebotomy. Well, they'd known about it a long time. I think it was 100 BC. Gallon wrote a book about it, called The 7 Cuts of Gallon. So it's about so you can cut the brain and destroy the function slowly. And they're never really good for anything. And the slaves out of it down to them die quite quickly, except for replacement. And that caused wars, ruined round wrestling, and well, so it's still in history. It's all been repeated. And, so slavery is a way to poverty, and but freedom is a way to wealth. So individuals do things, not firms, not companies, not governments, but people, individuals. And throwing money at a problem doesn't solve it. Governments just do it. Or I'll put some money in. We just get people who compete over the money, but they're for the money, they're interested to solve the problem. So they do produce solutions. And they say praise of capitalism. Well, praise of capitalism is all right, but it doesn't imply slavery. It does, because they're making people slaves. But socialism doesn't work. Free enterprise works. Where people are free. And but freedom trade, so I think in Hungary, where people are very hungry, but actually it's a very hungry place where people are starving. And there's plenty of food, but it doesn't go to the people who live there. And somebody makes a profit, I know it is, but I don't know what the economists have done, or what's happened, but there's poverty there is plenty in Hungary. And in Budapest, the diet is very, very poor. Of course, it's difficult, well, I'm not sure why, but the government system doesn't work. Food distribution system doesn't work, and they need to have free enterprise where people in the outer districts where the farming is to sell their produce in Budapest, and they could do that. Peddlers who go in and do that. Where I was in some Hungary, get lovely sausages and stuff. You can't get them, well, you don't get them. So they sell them. There's all bread, awful stuff. The edible keeps you alive, but it's awful, and it may be ill. So, Budapest is a disaster zone. And it was just been the whole of Europe is like that. It's all social, of course, it's socialism. Place like Marseille, as they go around the hinterland, it's all a slum, quite a big slum. And the best thing about good thing about the price of the railways, they're very good. I think that's state subsidised how it works, but South Europe is going on the trains in Europe. But well, there are wealthy people there, but it's one less. And food is difficult to get. It's expensive. It's already got money, but it's even worse in Hungary. And socialism was very good. And in Britain, it was Mr. Wilson who wrote Britain. And, well, we were so. I remember when I was young, I was trying to make ends meet like everybody else, and I was doing things, and I get accused me of stealing things. Well, mostly I was making money by doing jobs for people, and that wasn't crime. And I was making a reasonable amount of money, and I was surviving. But when the socialists took over, everybody had to be employed by the state. It was absolutely awful, and we all believed in it, and it wrecked the place. I remember there were once cockle sellers and seafood sellers, in the streets, and they all disappeared. I probably go European revolution or regulations about hygiene or something, but basically it was a source of food. They were cheap food, and they all disappeared. And so other things have disappeared. And burgers are about the worst thing you can eat. And they're made of human flesh. It's pretty awful. So they eat each other. You've got to eat something. Eat each other. Mrs. Thatcher. Well, I'm not quite sure. Well, she wasn't a socialist, but she decided that ordinary people would eat burgers, whereas other people eat steaks. Meat is expensive, but it's better than dying of burger poisoning, especially if they're human flesh, which will kill you from the prime. They aren't heat treated, but that's it. And this CZD chemicals right from beef burgers, and it doesn't all come from beef, it comes from people, that's what I was told. And well, no farmer would do it. Farmers don't. Farmers know their job is to produce food, and that's what they exist for. So they feed themselves first, and they feed other people. Life is good on the farm. A trade on the farm. And not all of them are aristocrats, but a lot of aristocrats have farms. Things like a rich stockbrokers and people buy farms just as a way of work for a farm. But unless they know how to play, it's really easy to get managed a farm. But how's the management produces food? Interesting. Capital is interesting because farmers have a choice of having wind farms on their farmland, or perhaps photo cells, or food. Or they grow crops for fuel, I think rapeseed oil works as a fuel quite nicely. You have to process it, but it's biofuel, very nice too, but it deviates away from fruit crops. Well, the actual problem is too many of us. And these people who have a car who don't need the plug workers anymore, they have machines. Well, that's the other side. It's difficult what to do. Difficult. This Malthus that says that we run, it's true. It is true that I'm not sure how it works, but we tend to run out of food before we run out of reason times on, because all it works is to do with population growth. But food growth, that's the population growth, so the productivity grows and the food supply grows, but there's a limit, and we're limited. And as a result, men will come in competition to each other, and that's how it is. And you've got to be people. The biological statistics of the number of babies you have, babies who survive to maturity, and the babies themselves, that's fecundity, and So one of the things that always like is my genes will carry on and yours won't. But a priest told me that. He laughed at me. Oh, well, that's his idea. He stole my money basically. Local priest did that. The man who runs the local vicar runs the church, really, but he says that way. I want my genes to carry on. And my genes are superior. Well, people who get done like this, because if you read monkey stories, monkeys are the same. The big male who has a big harem fights everybody else. The ladies who don't get at them will cheat, and they fall about love of going up with local lads around the corner, and he don't know about it. And that's how it works. So I meant the same. Human race keeps on growing. And well, that's the human condition. We're just animals like anybody else. And we're not immortal. We die. And Christianity is a lie. And but people will work whether it's Christianity or not. But the truth's a lie. It's awful to make money. It's awful. And, so the entrepreneurs are free. They're making money for themselves. And they can choose what hours they work and so on, whether they work or not, who they work for. But they do also work for other people. We can't do anything about working for other people. Of course, there are some people who like to have the idea of having some sort of wind farm in the garden. Some people want these generators that are supposed to be made. And people do this over in the economy. Well, it's behind me. You can see it behind me. That's the generator, and it might run on this deuterium tube. If I just use this end here, just down here, and put the discharge. I might set it up like this if it works. I'm a bit worried about the effect because it might be very vigorous. And but when I have a blue one, that flashes over. It's quite a flash. It starts, and as it progresses, the flash gets bigger and the power gets bigger. There's no diminishing power, but because something in the field is generating more, and I don't know what it is, because air is a complex mixture of gases. But there is hydrogen in this one, and it's very small amount of deuterium. But the actual gases of the air do take part in fusion. Anything is to do with the fusion of light nuclei, and they do generate energy, but it's less than hydrogen. Hydrogen, deuterium is the best. And steam-powered engine would be, and they can be made very small. I had to throw away the one I made because it was the wire was broken and I couldn't repair it. But they're tiny things. I haven't got one yet. I haven't got one. I think I'll put it straight away. I need that one, but it's gone. But I will be making them if I'm still alive. If I don't kill them before then, I'll try and make that one. And it would go in your pocket and it would generate quite a lot of power. Of course, it might be pocket rail, and it may produce, I think it produces neutrons and X-rays, I don't know. But it has to be shielded, and a fairly cheap shield is actually high density polystyrene. Expanded polystyrene, but high density, and it acts as an atmosphere and scatters it, and the radiation that comes out scattered from the carbon and hydrogen atoms to light, and that's very scatters by quantum scattering, and then it just the radiation disappears. That applies to most things. You see it. And anyway, I won't be doing that until I can afford it, because I'm trying to get ET out of Budapest. That's difficult because I haven't got any money. Somebody stopped me money, and it's to do with the fact that when I went to see what's going on in Budapest, in Hungary, it was very expensive. And I spent a lot of money, and also coming back was very expensive, because I was ill and I had to go by an airliner, which was cheap as well, but it's quite expensive. And I found out. Now, my poor wife is now stranded in Budapest. I know her location. She's actually quite close to a bridge over the river Danube, and well, she probably sleeps under the bridge, actually, I don't know, but she could go somewhere. There's probably other people there, but there are people who sleep around, and she arrives with me for food, and she's trying to use a lift. If we find a lorry driver or anybody's driver, that's random. She'll go through immigration properly. She has right papers, and so she's not an illegal immigrant because Hungary is in the European Union. But she hasn't got enough money for the coach. Now, it's possible that they'll increase my money on Tuesday because Monday is a bank holiday. On Tuesday, and I might have enough, give enough for the coach fare, but they're booked for weeks in advance, those coaches. And you can get on a train anytime, but they're very expensive. If she did it stages, paying stages, she could buy a train to Munich, which is one train journey, and then she could stay at Munich and stay for a while. There, and then move on. It's very dangerous over Europe, sleeping rough. And but if she's quite good at it, now she'll do it for some time, and then she can get out of train to Paris and stay in Paris for a while, which is even more dangerous. Because of course, many sex slaves are there too, and police are all over the place. Clearly, there's warfare going on. And then she can get a Eurostar, or possibly a train. The other way to do it is a train to Calais and get the boat, and that's probably the cheapest way. I think it's probably cheaper than going by Eurostar. But you've got to get to Paris first. And Paris to Calais, it's just a train. She can go with that. Yeah, the trains are different over there, the way it's done. But I got used to it, and I'm 70, so she can go and do it. But because I earned my pension, I did my service, and they are going to pay me. No, that's that. A lot of it's been stolen from them, money's been stolen from me. But that's one of those things. My people who just want my money, they're jealous. And well, it's one of those things. And they take malicious prosecution to get rid of people. It causes trouble all over the place. Even cause wars, you know. These troublemakers, a small number of individuals, cause wars. A lot of them are people in this country, and a lot of them are Christians, and they do it viciously, because there's money in wars, basically. Awful. And nasty lot. But they think of a I think when the opportunities to make money, well, that's all very well. It's all right because we must produce a service. It's not making money that's the object of a firm, it's the service. You make money, you've got to make money to survive and to buy things, reward yourself, but and reward others. But it's what you do that counts. It's the service you produce. It's not just a question of making money. When I was young, before Mr. Wilson took over, we were making money legitimately by doing things. Well, then these people rustled in. They actually wanted to employ me. They wanted to get rid of me. So they accused me of crimes I didn't do and all sorts of nasty things in order to get me into their control. These scars have put, there's a limit my choice of job, among other things, so I work for them. And well, that doesn't work very well because some people turn against me, but I think sometimes spontaneous, but you go there. And especially it's a very nasty, it's always reused in you. But man's the most evil animal there is. Slavery is, but especially a group of men working together to produce money to themselves. I mean, communism was like that, but it applied to the whole country. They sold it to people. It was a good idea. To start off, it worked. They took over. They built their own factories, and it was their factory. But that didn't work because of Western attacks was the people were losing money. The people in the West were losing money. Part of the reason. But people who did that much capitalists as the people who built the first place. They previously employed them. Basically, they were making money for themselves. It's actually no different. But these organisations, like socialism and communism, don't work, and the people starve. And so individual entrepreneurs are better, and it swings first and forwards. But Green Party is some different people, but I think they realise it doesn't mean socialism. It's the same thing. The really small is beautiful, and it is, because a small company, the people who organised it in the first place keep in touch with the people who work there, and they're their friends rather than just employees, and that's where it breaks down. And once the relationship breaks down, they do their work and they're not interested, and they do less work than they otherwise would. You know. But, and they set up a firm. It's often set up by people work for nothing to start off with. People on the dole set up firms. The people on Social Security in this country or other countries, they get welfare. And they can't set up firms. They're not allowed to. That's the problem. They're not allowed to. They have to work for somebody else. Well, if they relax that law in this country, where people could work, to make money, while they're on the dole, they don't get a penalty until they're insufficient to be independent of the law. And other people have got the idea that people should get a citizen's income, which would be enough to live on, and then they could be free to make money in their own way, and they still get their citizen's income. That's the Green Party idea. I think it's a good idea, and that would enable more freedom. But it would cost money, and where do you get the money from? It's taxation, isn't it? People have to pay for it, so people who work have to pay for it. And they have to be balanced exactly right, so that it wasn't profitable to go to work, and you still make money. Somebody has to pay for it. That's the problem. The people who invented citizens' income didn't work out how to be paid for. But they have people who have to make a contribution to citizens' income. The people who work. And people who be on citizens' income, they would also be on citizens' income. And the people who make money, because there'd be a proportion who wouldn't. And if you meet these wealthy people, they do have a good time, but they do actually are productive. And some of the things they do are very beneficial to people. It depends on which way they're people. The people are everybody else, and they take interest in the firms they own, and so on. But I believe in that. But the people who stole my money thought I'd make a good cover as well. Well, still my money doesn't help, and so that's a problem. And so I find it very unpleasant. I think it's very unpleasant. And just because it's survival. And, in Argentina there was a movement, I think it was a Christian movement, who tried to get rid of gangsters and communists. And they decided people they would get people to give up their pensions to go to work. It's quite difficult for a person assembly to do that. Apart from flexibility, there's strength and illness and so on. And so I don't know how people did that. And gangsters were able to give up gangsterism. To some extent it worked, but then it broke down. Because, I don't know why it broke down. Argentina was less. Interesting. I can't remember, but without doubt. Anyway, but freedom is the way to wealth, and freedom is the way to wealth. Look at America, it's free people, don't they, when their own decisions. I believe in it. I was a seafarer still some time, but it didn't work.